All they do is win. The Wisconsin Badgers just 3 years removed from the national championship game. Sweet 16 team each of the last 2 years under Gard. Now 19 straight NCAA tourney appearances, 16 straight seasons in the top four of the Big Ten, but needing to replace 4 veteran starters this year, including names like Nigel Hayes and Bronson Koenig. And very pleased to welcome Badgers coach Gard here, along with one of 3 unanimous picks to the all-conference team, Ethan Happ. Congratulations on that. Dimitri Trice is with us as well. I want to start with the tour that you guys took in the offseason to Australia and New Zealand, particularly given how young this team is, how little experience they had playing with one another. How important was that, Greg, to your development?
Well, it was essential. And I think we saw as we prepared for that in June, July, and the early part of August before we left, just how the group was coming together. And then obviously everybody focuses on the 5 games we got a chance to play and that experience, but the preparation of the 8 weeks leading up to that before we left was terrific. I thought these guys did an awesome job of leading a young group, getting ready for that, and then we played pretty well against really good teams.
What was the biggest thing you guys learned about your team over there? For both of you, Ethan, you could start.
I mean, Coach kind of said echoed the same sentiments as we would say with off-court stuff was really big for us. But I think we saw some guys grow from one year to the next. I mean, Meach, the guy sitting right here, he definitely was a testament to that, where he's definitely taken a big step from last year.
I would kind of just piggyback off of what Coach said, is our bonding experience that we had and just coming together closer on and off the court. I would say coaches got to find out things that we didn't know about one another, and then the coaches also got to see the new guys.
Part of the world that I know a lot of people would love to see. What stood out to you visiting Australia and New Zealand? What was the biggest thing you took away?
I would definitely say the scenery. It's amazing over there and so beautiful. And even it was their winter time, but it was still 60 degrees and sunny all the time, so it was definitely beautiful to see.
We take that for our winter, right?
Yes.
How about for you, Ethan?
I got to take a selfie with a koala bear, and I got to hand feed a kangaroo. So I'd say those are definitely up there in the top 2 moments.
Yeah, those sound like 2 pretty good highlights. How is the preseason different with a young team, Greg? I mean, you know, in terms of teaching and how you run practice and the things that you have to focus on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a whole lot different. Practice schedules look relatively similar. Drills, these guys have been around a little bit, so they've heard the terminology and the different drills we do and have seen that. I think you take a little more time to stop and teach, or maybe reteach. We go back and revisit. I repeat drills maybe on a consecutive day process where I would just move on if I felt we grasped the concept pretty well, but by and large, not really a whole lot different. We're still moving forward. Expectations are higher in our locker room and on our practice floor than they are anywhere else in the outside world. So these 2 have done a terrific job of leading that young group, and they've all really jumped in and embraced this process.
How do each one of you lead? What's each of your leadership style, starting with you, Ethan?
I'd say the biggest thing, you know, Frank kind of passed down for me, Frank Kaminsky, was just to be the hardest worker on the floor. Coach told that to me before the season as well, was that's really, you don't have to say a lot to be a good leader, and I think that's one of the things that I kind of do, is just try and be the hardest worker on the floor and have guys follow in my footsteps.
For me, it's been more vocal. I've taken a couple seminars and a couple classes and things to learn to be a better vocal leader, and I think that it's coming along well, and I think that coaches and the players listen to what I have to say, and I think they follow suit to what I have to say as well.
I know Dimitri's one of the guys you're counting on in this area, but returning players who have taken the biggest jump, who would you count in that group?
Well, I think there's been a handful of them, but I think the 2 that have jumped out thus far in 12 days of practice have been Khalil Iverson and Andy Van Vliet. 2 guys that Khalil's had experience from the past. Andy hasn't played. He's been around for 2 years, but hasn't been in the rotation. Both guys have taken big jumps in their game. And there's others, Brevin Pritzel, Charlie Thomas, guys that have taken steps forward. And then we have 3 freshmen that have stepped in and really have jumped into the mix right away and fit perfectly with what we do.
All right, give me a sense of the freshmen, because I know you'll be counting on some of them, Reavers, Davison, King.
Right. Well, Brad Davison doesn't look or act or talk like a freshman. Very mature. You know, I have an affinity for football players and specifically quarterbacks. I get a quarterback right there. Brad Davison's a former quarterback. So I've always felt that if you can lead a huddle of 10, you can handle 4 others on the floor. It's a lot simpler. So he's done a great job from that standpoint. King, in-state kid, loves the University of Wisconsin. really wanted to be there. A testament to him that he stuck with us through that whole transition when Coach Ryan retired in interim and that whole thing. So that's a testament to him. But athletic, skilled, can really score. And Nate Reavers is prototypical Wisconsin big guy, 6'10", skilled, can shoot the ball, knows how to play. But all three have really bought into the program, and the older guys have done a great job of leading them, and they've done a great job of jumping in and contributing what they can.
Well, looking forward to seeing the young guys play and looking forward to seeing a new group of Badgers out there this year. I know a lot of interest in the league to see just how this Wisconsin team performs this year. Greg Gard, Ethan Happ, Dimitri Trice, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.